required by law, right? No, there was no law then. God hadn't given them a law yet. He didn't give them any requirement for a blood sacrifice. But this was in their hearts. And one of their hearts was pure and one wasn't. And when God saw that, he did not accept Cain's offering. Not because it was fruit and vegetables, but because of his heart. And Cain was upset and killed his brother out of jealousy. So Abel was dead, and God cursed Cain and his family from that point on. So their third child, Seth, his line. And we talked about his line of descent and the world became the word in the first place. People just did whatever they wanted, what pleased them. And they didn't worship God, they didn't care about God. They ignored worshiping the Lord and just did whatever they wanted to for themselves. And as a result, God said, that's it, I'm fed up with it. He cursed the earth. He said, in 120 years it will be destroyed. But Noah, what comes next? Found grace in the eyes of the Lord. I love that verse, one of my favorite verses. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. God looked at everything else that just disgusted him and saw one man. And love that man. And willing to save that one man and his family. Noah. This is Noah. And Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives' names. Mrs. Shem, Mrs. Ham, and Mrs. Japheth. Of course. Simple. No, just put another name. But there were 8 people in total. And they started building a boat. So they built this boat, and the size was big, between 400 and 500 feet long. How many of you have been to the Noah's Ark Museum in Kentucky? I encourage you, if you have an opportunity, I encourage you to go sometime. It's a good experience. You can see for yourself how big the ark was. I've been there, and it's astonishing. It's tall, and it's a big building, and it's wide too. So it's a good opportunity for us. Noah and his family, God called the animals to come into the ark. How many days? How many days did it rain? 20 days. How long was the water drizzle? 150 days. And as it gradually went down, how long in total did it go on the ark? You're going to and that's the wrong answer. A year and 10 days. Good. A year and 10 days. So and he left the ark, and immediately, what did Noah do? He built an altar. The first time in history that we see that word altar in the Bible. That's important. Why did Noah build an altar? Because it was required by law, right? No, there was no law yet. There was no law that required sacrifice. So why did Noah do it? Because he had gratitude in his heart to God. We already know that Noah walked with God. He had a good relationship with God. We already know that. So now, Noah is out of the ark. Is made a promise. What was the promise? Was it conditional or unconditional? Unconditional. Justine and Kim disagree, and everybody fight. But Kim's right. It was unconditional. God didn't say, if you obey me, I will never destroy the earth again with a flood. No, God just said, I will never destroy the earth again and everything on the earth with a flood. Never again. That was his promise. There was nothing conditional about it. No, if you do this, I will do that. But it was unconditional. And God gave a symbol of that promise. What was the symbol? A rainbow. It's just a picture from the internet. I wish that was me. I wish that I could have taken that picture. But Noah, as we started talking about last week, what happened after that? Before that, he started to be a farmer. What was his job before that? He was a farmer. He was a husbandman. So what does that usually mean? No, that's not me, right? A husbandman means a farmer. And specifically what fruit? Could be apples, could be grapes, but most of the time we see this word husbandman is talking about grapes. And was it after Noah planted his crop, he made juice, he drank it, and it was fine. And then later on, that juice became fermented. And Noah, he got drunk. Is this Noah's fault? Maybe he didn't know. I can't tell you. My opinion is, if he drank it and he felt funny, he should have stopped. But he went ahead and he drank enough to get drunk. I don't know, it's hard for me. Oh, hold on. Remember,
No, not one.
the atmosphere had changed, the firmament had changed. Right? Now, I agree with you. This was the first time. First time I drank alcohol, I remember that. I did.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. After the point is, tipsy, not drunk. I know if I had drank more, I would start to feel it more, of course. That's normal.
No.
Now, I've had other people tell me, and I've seen in the movies what drunkenness looks like. I've seen what people have said. But no one didn't have that to go on. That's my point. That's my point. Right. That's what I mean. Right, right. That's my point. I agree with you. I agree. So, I'm not blaming Noah. I just wonder, did he feel that he liked that? And he wanted more of it? I can't make a decision. I'm not judging this, I'm not judging Noah, but at the same time, I feel like he should have known, but anyway. Maybe he has an excuse. Yet. And. He was naked. Where? In his tent. Is there anything wrong with that? I'm naked in my house. I'm naked in my house. Why do we blame Noah for being naked in his tent? Nothing wrong with that. That's normal to be naked in your own house. But Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward. And saw not their father's face. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. He knew what his younger son had done to him. And he said, cursed be Ham. Cursed be Ham. Malachi, you're shaking your head. Why? He didn't say cursed be Ham. He said cursed be Ham. A servant of servants shall he be to his brethren. Now we have a little bit of a problem. We'll talk about that. The short answer is no, but we'll talk about that. Now you said that. Now, we have a little bit of a problem. Number one, brothers. And they went into covered and nothing left. Noah woke up and found out and he cursed Ham's son, Canaan. So what's happening here? Well, Mark, to me it seems like it was no big deal. They saw me naked. So, okay. Why curse his son? If he bawled him out, untold him maybe, but why curse his son? What did his son do wrong? It wasn't his son's fault. That's not fair. So, I have studied this passage a lot. And I've read a lot. Other people have written their opinions, what the words mean. And I've done a lot of study on this. And I'm summarizing 5 choices. There are 5 choices as to what could have happened. Okay? I want you to remember the key word here. What his younger son had done unto him. What his younger son had done unto him. His younger son was his, Ham's, or Noah's. And one more keyword. The phrase, your father's nakedness. So why are we discussing this? Option number 1 is simple reading. Ham disrespects his father. Noah finds out about it and curses his son. Simple, number 1. He was mad because he was not respectful and cursed his son. Why did he curse his son? Because he didn't want to curse the whole line, just part of it. That's option number 1. Option number 2. Ham has sexual thoughts of his father, and Noah finds out. And curses his son. Why that option? Again, the phrase, his father's nakedness, can have sexual meaning. It can. In the book of Leviticus, it talks about nakedness in a sexual way. The third option. Ham actually has sex with his mother, with his own mother, and Canaan is the result. And we're going to get that idea. Leviticus chapter 18. It talks about not looking on thy father's nakedness. And that means, and thy mother's nakedness, which is the same as thy father's nakedness. Now, did Ham's wife give her he did something to him, whatever that means. It could mean something sexual, or it could mean some kind of prank on his father. And when he woke up, he cursed his son. Because Noah woke up and he knew what his son had done to him. What does that mean? And the fifth option. Canaan is actually the one who does the inappropriate act. Ham told his brothers, and Canaan went in and did something. And then the two older brothers came in and covered his names. So, the question is, whose younger son are we talking about? Noah's or Ham's? Why are you giving us all these options? I don't want to tell you my opinion and not tell you there are other options. So after giving you all of these options, I'm going to give you what my opinion is. God has no problem with giving us details. What does that mean? It means there are stories, for example, David with Uriah. He stole Uriah, one of his best friend's wives, and slept with her and got her pregnant, and then had him killed. God tells us that happened. And David was one of God's favorite people, one of his beloved first people, a man after God's own heart. Another example, God tells us, God telling us terrible details about someone famous in his life. There's no shame in what happened. God tells us everything straight up about that person. So my answer is I don't think God hides the truth from us. For me, when I read the Bible, I always try my best to take the simplest reading, whatever the word says. And I try to dig into it and find out, oh, is it what it mean? I'm tempted to twist it. I'm tempted to make it more dramatic, more exciting, more fascinating, and that's dangerous. So I encourage you to take the simplest reading possible. And that means in my opinion, it's number one. That's my opinion. It's very simple. Ham goes in, he sees his father, and has no respect for him. He goes out and he tells his brothers, and Noah wakes up, and hears that Ham has disrespected him and curses his son. Now, remember, it's important to understand that this is not God's curse. God doesn't curse people. He curses Canaan. Noah curses Canaan. story about Noah's nakedness there. Number one, it's important that we understand the story is not, and some people I have seen say this, some preachers say this, that was the curse on Ham. That's number one, there wasn't a curse on Ham. There was a curse on Canaan. That's the way I read it, maybe that's not, I can't help it. People think that a curse on Ham means it's a curse on black people. Do I agree with that? 1,000,000% no, that is wrong. That is not right. It's not even biblical. It doesn't make sense. That's foolish to say that. Why? Well, I'll explain. Original people that were on the ark, where did they spread to? I'll give you a map here. After the ark, they began to disperse. Shem is in purple here. Ham is in orange. And Japheth is in green. Okay, so notice with me, the orange is where the descendants of Ham went, and where most of them go. South. Some did go into Africa and would become, I believe, African tribes, including black people. Not Canaan. Where was Canaan? Here. Between Africa and Turkey. This was Canaan. Now notice where Japheth's descendants are. They're in the green. And they are going northeast. They're going north into Europe. And these became European kingdoms. And then we have the green, or the purple, Shem. And they tended to live in this area, in the Middle East. The Middle Eastern group became most of what we know today as Semites. Maybe you've heard that. Maybe you've heard the word anti-Semitic. What does that mean? From the line of Shem, most of the time we're talking about Israel, Jews. They're from the line of Shem. Now, okay, Mark, why is the story of the curse on Canaan there? Why is it there? Canaan becomes the ones who settle the land south of Turkey and north of Arabia, the Mediterranean Sea. The land became known as Canaan, or Canaan land. So why is that important? Because that area that's the area of the people who were cursed. What does that mean? Not talking about black people. What's the point of this curse? The point is found in Genesis is speaking to who? Abraham. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land in which thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. In Exodus, it says, and I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan. So again, in Leviticus, when you come into the land of Canaan, which I will give you for possession, in the book of Deuteronomy, it talks about the promised land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for possession. Why Canaan is cursed? Because their land will be lost to the people of Israel. God giving their land to Israel. That is the point of the curse. Is that clear? No. That means Canaan and the people. Let's go back. Canaan and the people from his line, they live there on that land. That's their land, they own it. But what was Noah's curse about? Because of Noah's curse, new people would come and take the land from them. Who are those new people? Abraham. And Abraham's son, Isaac. Isaac's son, what was his name? Israel.
Again.
What his name was Jacob. God changed his name to Israel. That land in here is not known as the land of Canaan anymore. That land is now known as the land of Israel, also called the Promised Land, also called Zion. That is God's people and their land. And that curse on Canaan is that the people would lose their land, that they would be conquered and destroyed, and many other people would die. And Israel would come in and take control of that land. That's a prophecy from Noah. He's prophesying that you will be cursed. And we haven't read all of the curse yet. Noah says, blessed be the Lord God of Shem. And Canaan shall be his servant. Canaan shall be his servant. To who? Shem. And Shem, in the future, will be Israel. God shall enlarge Jacob, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem. And Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So Noah died, and now, next week, we'll be talking about, in chapter 10, a whole bunch of names. That's boring, but don't worry, I will try my best to make it interesting. So I hope that we'll be able to explain this a little bit in light of what we agree. We'll talk about that pretty soon. Bill? And you understanding? Amy was first, pause. But later, any others? Okay. Let's close the prayer. Our Father, in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Noah. Dr. Remind us. It's important to respect. The reason he was naked in the first place, or because he was drunk. And whatever we should follow and hang that off, and we'll know what is right. Give us strength to walk with you. Father, you have a plan. Canaan was first. Abel is later. This happened. You're not in a hurry. You're patient. You have a plan. You patiently wait for the plan to be fulfilled. We are in a hurry. You say, Lord, come and save us soon. We have to wait. And when the time is right, you will realize, oh, duh, now it all makes sense. But help us be patient and wait for you. Teach us how. In Jesus'